CDC is lying. What was the reaction you received from the TSA officials, the other airport officials there at the airport in Atlanta yesterday?
TSA was most cordial. I had met with them the day before. I'd flown from Guatemala through international concourse and customs and immigration. Mind you, no thermal scannings going on, despite what the CDC told USA Today yesterday.
Yes.
But the reaction from Delta, I also warned them the day before, but it didn't make it up the chain of command. I was able to get all the way to the gate. I did take off the garb for the security, of course, but I did make it all the way to the gate and took off everything, put it in a satchel, carried it onto the plane. I was ready to go. They were ready to close the door, and the Delta officials stormed the plane, jerked me off, took my bags, and said, "We want the gear. We need to confiscate the gear. You're not flying." Well, there was a little bump in the road at the end, but, by the time I sat down that plane before that, I just breathed a great sigh of relief, saying, thank God we got the message started. The American Constitution Journal, they were out there just filming everything and photographing everything because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to have a "don't tase me, bro" moment.
Yeah.
Thank God for that. We started this going viral, and the conversation has begun.
Well, that's very important. Thank you for doing that. And it's that type of event that gets people's attention. So it really was necessary for you to do it in that manner, I think, to get people to listen.
I've been trying to figure out for months how to get the public's attention. We've known these clusters were coming. We had meetings months ago in the Greene County Medical Society, yet Obama came out 2 weeks ago. The very same week it was misdiagnosed in Dallas because our alert was down because the Obama and Frieden from the CDC says a very, very small chance. We knew that is either a lie or they're incompetent.
Yes, yes. What would you like to see happen? What would you suggest that the CDC do?
I wish we could close the borders, but we've been dragging our feet to the south. I wish we could close the borders, make every person coming into the United States have a 3-week isolation period. We're not going to stop this until we catch every single case. And maybe this means thermal scanning everywhere. I don't know. But I tell you what we do need to do. We need to get people with fevers out of the hospital now. Because it's showing up, it's going person to person in the United States, and the flu season's coming. And we're not going to be able to tell the difference in the flu. By the way, get your flu shot because you don't want to wind up in quarantine because you have a fever. Get your flu shot. But we don't want to have people showing up to the ERs and coming in contact with the staff, and then all of a sudden we lose that shift. And then somebody else shows up and we lose that shift. The PRN workers get scared and they quit. Next thing we know, we're without healthcare workers. We must remove Ebola from the hospitals. The hospitals are saying they're prepared. I would ask every listener to call their hospital, call their director of nursing, and ask how many spare negative pressure rooms you have. Negative pressure removes the aerosolized hemorrhagic vomit, coughing from the atmosphere, filters it, puts it outside the hospital rather than circulating it to the patient next door. Ask them how many spare negative pressure rooms they have, which is absolutely essential. And they'll probably say 0. We have to work every time we get a level 4 isolation or something like that.
Yeah, I would disagree with you about the flu shot. We've seen a lot of people who come down with the flu after getting the flu, and there's other issues involved with that as well. But could you address for a moment what you think about the way this was handled in terms of the cleanup of the sidewalk, the way they sent guys out there without any protective clothing, pressure washing that days after they knew about this, and then actually it was yesterday they did that, and then today they're just now getting around to cleaning the apartment. Could you address that?
We flew this doctor from West Africa a month ago, and 55 gallons sat outside Emory University Hospital for over a week with the medical waste, wondering what we're going to do with it. They need to be proactive, not crossing this bridge after the fact. Same thing with this family in Dallas. They sat for 3 days in an apartment with blood, urine, feces-soaked mattresses and carpet while the CDC goes, what are we going to do about this now? They should have been proactive, instituted policy, procedures, and implemented them months ago. They've been derelict in their duty. And I point my finger squarely at Frieden and say, it's you, sir. Dereliction of duty. Get the ball rolling.
Well, there's still a conflict in terms of transporting this. The CDC is saying that it's okay to, what was holding up, they say, the cleanup of this apartment was, number 1, finding a contractor who wanted to do the job. Number 2,
every municipality should work on that contractor right now.
Yes.
Our municipality should be calling the trash, in Springfield, Missouri right now, should be calling the trash compact companies and say, who's going to remove our infectious waste? This stuff should have been done months ago, not after we need it.
And the transportation agencies are the ones who are putting the blocks on transporting this stuff on the highway, whereas the CDC says just go with it. That's fine. We're not concerned about that. Now, at Emory, they had some industrial autoclaves that they eventually brought on site to get rid of the medical waste. Is that correct?
I understand there was several days of intense negotiation with waste management companies, and they worked out something. I don't know the details.
Well, you're right. They need to be proactive on this. But instead, what we've seen is them reacting several days after these things occur, letting children continue to go to school, allowing people to walk across the sidewalk where this patient was violently vomiting days before.
Sterilizing the vomit with a power washer. Oh, my God.
Yes.
How could the news every day not get any worse? I understand there's a suspected Ebola patient in Washington, D.C. right now.
Yes.
We'll be back with more from Dr. Gil Mobley after the break. He was the doctor who staged the anti-CDC protests at Atlanta Airport yesterday. Final segment of the Alex Jones Show live coming up. Stay tuned. Infowars.com. Keep it locked in.
Listen up, all you preppers and survival enthusiasts. Sigma 3 Survival School has a brand new survival instructor training program that will teach you everything you need to know about survival, and then license you to teach our survival programs so you can make a substantial profit from it. If you have always wanted to learn to be completely self-reliant and would like to make money at it, then check out Sigma 3 Survival School Survival Instructor Program at survivalschool.us or call 479-561-3886 today.
Are you ready to surrender your right to buy body armor? No joke. Congress is now trying to outlaw civilian body armor. And if House Bill H.R. 5344 becomes law, you can kiss your right to protect yourself against rifle bullets goodbye. Don't put off your body armor purchase any longer. Go now to InfidelBodyArmor.com. Thousands of military veterans trust their lives to Infidel Body Armor. You should too. Spelled INFIDEL. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
DNA Force.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in.
DNA Force.
No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies.
DNA Force.
We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
DNA Force.
Tell folks how you got introduced to Super Male, and then when Super Female came out, tell us what happened.
After I saw such a huge positive change in my husband, I had to try it for myself.
Talk about the effects.
I feel great when I wake up in the morning. I have drive to go to the gym. I feel like I look better. I feel better. I feel sexier. I love it.
Even if you don't believe in supplements, take the challenge. Get a bottle of Super Male, a bottle of Super Female. Check it out for yourself. Consult your physician. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. This is life-changing.
On September 30th, 2014, the first confirmed case of Ebola appeared in the U.S. This, combined with several other unidentified viruses, have some of our customers at 30dayfoodsupply.com concerned about the safety of our domestic food supply, resulting in a surge of our $99 90-serving kits. While we at 30dayfoodsupply.com have no expertise in epidemiology, we are aggressively purchasing raw materials that are currently in stock, and we intend to continue to sell our 30-day non-GMO emergency food supply for only $99 as long as we can. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low by buying directly from the producers in Oregon and then pass the savings on to you. Call 541-229-0010 and purchase our 30-day, 90-day serving emergency food supplies for only $99, and $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit our website at 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 541-229-0010. 541-229-0010.
I hear the train coming, it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen the sun.
Final segment of the Alex Jones Show on this Friday edition live. Again, very important to keep a healthy immune system. InfoWarsLife.com has the new stock of Silver Bullet. Many of you have been waiting for this to come back in stock. Concentrated to a powerful 30 parts per million, triple the strength of many other colloidal silver products. And it's free of GMOs, gluten additives, which you will find in a lot of the other products on the market. That Silver Bullet, Available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com, just back in stock. Now we're talking to Dr. Gil Mobley, who yesterday hit the headlines for his anti-CDC protest, saying that the CDC is asleep at the wheel with this Ebola outbreak. Dr. Mobley, now we're getting reports out of Liberia that people are flooding the airports there trying to get into the United States for treatment. We had comments from one of the co-workers of the Ebola victim in Dallas who said that he had entered America in a, quote, desperate attempt to survive. Do you think we're going to see a wave of Ebola tourism in light of this incident?
Well, yes, we will, and I'll mind you and mention to you that I came through International Customs returning from a medical mission trip in Guatemala just Wednesday evening, not day before yesterday, and despite what USA Today said on the front page yesterday that we're doing thermal screening at airports, we are not at Hartsfield International Airport, the busiest airport in the world. No one asked where I was. No one asked if I had been sick. No one asked if I had a fever, and there was no thermal scanning. The CDC is asleep at the wheel, and there have been dereliction of duty, and I point my finger squarely at Dr. Frieden and say, dereliction of duty, sir. Get the ball on rolling.
It seems to be a pretty pervasive ignorance, because this article that we have up on Infowars.com about sheriff's officers are fearful after being ordered into the apartment where this Ebola patient was staying in Dallas. The amazing thing to me is not only did they order these 5 deputies to go there, but they were joined by a doctor and the head of the Dallas County Health and Human Services Department. I just don't understand. Is it because the CDC is telling people not to worry about any of this?
You know, they need to do whatever they can to avoid panic. Panic will just, but not lie or sugarcoat, but panic will cause irrational actions. We need to have frank, honest talk. Right now, either they're just omitting it or they're just lying. The fact that these clusters are going to overwhelm our capacity to handle them.
Yeah, but clearly there's the head of the Health and Human Services Department and a doctor who are accompanying these officers in the apartment that had not been cleaned. It had bedding, it had blankets that had been in direct contact with this patient who had been vomiting, had severe diarrhea, all these symptoms where he's losing bodily fluid. It's in the apartment, they haven't cleaned it, and yet these people don't seem to be aware of the threat that poses to them.
And why is this? It's because the CDC has been asleep at the wheel. We should have had policies, procedures implemented long ago. This epidemic has been ravaging West Africa for a half a year. And we're just now scratching our heads wondering, what do we do about this blood-soaked mattress? What do we do about the 55-gallon containers outside Emory? We're past due.
Yes.
Okay, that's going to wrap it up for our guest, Dr. Gil Mobley. We'll continue to track your protest against the CDC. Thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thanks for helping us get the word out, sir.
Thank you. That's going to wrap it up for the show today. Alex Jones, of course, will be back on Sunday. Thanks for David Knight joining me in studio. Latest Ebola news is breaking at Infowars.com, of course, throughout the day. And again, get the products, InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com for all the great health products. In these toxic times, the best thing to do is to keep your immune system boosted, performing at full capacity. I've been your host, Paul Joseph Watson. Again, Alex will be back on Sunday, and we'll be back for the Monday show live. Infowars.com is where you'll get all the breaking news on Ebola.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put 2 and 2 together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
DNA DNA Force.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in.
DNA Force.
No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies.
DNA Force.
We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
DNA Force.